Falcon Nation, we are here at Winter Sports Media Day talking men's basketball with head coach Landon Gabriel. Coach, I don't even know what year this is. Is this 3 or 4?
This is year 3.
But we're only going to count this as 2 because 1 year, no, we're not, because that was a region championship.
2, you want to say 2.5? So it counts.
Sure, kind of, yeah.
Sure.
So you were brought in during COVID. We went through that story 1,000 times and stuff,
right.
So we're not going to get there. So you've had the chance to have a couple recruiting cycles. So we have some returners. We'll talk about those guys soon. But let's talk about some of the new guys.
Sure.
That you have here. Like, who are we looking out for? Who's going to make a difference for you this year?
I really think one of the strengths of our team is our guard play.
Right.
So we have the Mims twins, who are transfers coming to us from State Fair Community College. They're local guys down in Allentown,
right.
Bethlehem, but they're transferring us from Missouri Community College. So we expect those guys are going to play a big role. And then Nasir Brown, another transfer coming to us from Lincoln University. He's going to be another solid guard. We really think our guard play and our depth at the guard is really going to be a strength for us this year.
Good. And you're fortunate enough to have, just like the women's basketball players, because we talked about them, of some players that have here for 3 years, which is really unique. And you probably never would have thought that in a million years that you would have at this level, some 3-year guys. So we got Cam, who we talked to. We got Brandon Scott, and we got Nashawn Johnson.
Yeah, so we have 3 guys who have played 3 seasons with us, and knowing you have a core bringing that kind of leadership to the table, their familiarity with everything, a new wave of young guys have guys they can lean on, which now for us, that's the first time we really feel like there's a big group of new guys, but they have a good foundation to lean on. So
and the unique thing of you coming in and being your 3rd year and coming in during a COVID year is that this is like your first time with your own class of new guys and stuff too. So you can really see an imprint. This is Landon Gabriel. This is what we expect out of Landon Gabriel to coach teams.
Right. And I mean, I think that's probably what we're going to see with such depth at the guard position, how fast we're going to be able to play, how well guys share the ball, how well guys are sharing the ball now when we're playing. So, I mean, we're excited to see them do that on the floor.
And that's important too, is to make sure that when you have a lot of guys and a lot of depth that, ball sharing is important. What keeps the guy on the floor? Ramad mentioned he wants to play D, and I said that's a great way to stay on the floor. So does that keep guys on the floor?
And that's that's really what we've been focused on. We are really talented. The things that differentiate you from the guy next to you ends up being small details, being in help position, proper help position, talking on the defensive end, getting through screens the right way. So it's all that small stuff. Defensively, rebounding, boxing out, running the floor. I mean, every guy can break people down, handle the ball, and score. But what's going to make you different than the guy across you is in the details.
Right. And then I did notice, I did watch one of your scrimmages, and then at a certain point in the first half of that game, the defensive intensity really increased at a high level. So I think if you could play that for 40 minutes, with that in your pressure, create turnovers with all those guards,
that's the dream.
It could be a lot of fun,
Absolutely.
watching you guys. I want to touch base with one other player. You have a football player playing basketball, right? So Julian Wilson, who came here from Loyal Sock, and I know he was a member of the basketball state championship team, but came here as an offensive lineman, big dude. He's like 6'8", 3-something. Has lost a lot of weight since he played basketball, but decided that getting hit was no longer fun. So he decided to take a different kind of contact and take it in the lane a little bit. How has his transition been?
So one of the big things coming into the season was we really did want to recruit the kind of perimeter players that we've wanted, but there was a big transition over the summer. A lot of the big, long, athletic bodies that we had that we expected to come back this year are not back. Some guys transferred. So we ended up at the end of the summer looking around thinking, we don't have the size we've had the last couple of years. And then Julian sort of fell into our lap. He's going to play a very important role. He's been playing great in the scrimmages. As he gets more and more acclimated to this level of competition and the athletic ability that his teammates have, because he hasn't played basketball in a couple of years, once he gets used to that, he's really going to play an important role.
And I seen him get a little bit more comfortable in their scrimmage that I watched, later in the game. Like, he ran the floor a little bit better and was more impactful on defense and on the offensive glass stuff. He's a very talented dude, but I think once he gets his basketball legs, he'll be fine. So One good thing about having him is that he is very well liked by the football players. So you will have a strong contingent of football guys, just like you did last night.
I was going to say, I think we saw the tip of the iceberg at the scrimmage the other night when all the football guys
the officials, during some breaks came over and said this is probably the most intense scrimmage that they have ever, had to officiate.
Looking forward to it being that
I am looking forward to a loud, student union. The sound doesn't travel well in there, so it can get very loud. No one knows what anyone is saying. But
the noise always helps the home team.
There's noise. And then again, we got to touch base with Coach Fallon, family member.
Yes.
So of course you can't get rid of him.
No,
but he does such a great job.
I'm stuck with him on Thanksgiving. I might as well just deal with him during practice.
So, not that you would ever get rid of him, but talk about all of the stuff he brings.
He's just, as we've gotten more experienced in this position, he's taken over more of a role in the recruiting. He's taken over more of a role in just all the day-to-day stuff. Now that he's become more familiar, it's taken a lot of the load off of me.
Right.
That first year or two when we were both adjusting, being the head coach, there's times where you feel a little overwhelmed.
Right.
Now he's taken a ton of that off my plate, and it makes for a much more smooth transition in the day-to-day operations here with the team.
Right, and stuff too. So, and then we'll finish with, I heard it takes a lot for you to get upset and to yell and raise your voice. How many times have you had to raise your voice this preseason? Is it single digits, under 5?
Definitely. I would say.
What does it take for you to yell?
It really takes just our guys. There's going to be nights where you just come in and you're not super focused and locked in, and when talented guys aren't pushing themselves to get better, that's the thing this preseason that is frustrating. And it's probably happened twice where I've had to stop a drill and address guys in a louder manner than I like to. But they usually focus pretty quickly.
Well, you know what? As not being a yeller, and I'm not a yeller also, when you yell, it takes more emphasis. If you just constantly yell at them.
Now, see, a person watching our games might think differently because in the gym, I'm loud trying to yell instructions, but I'm not in your face unless you need to have somebody take you to task. And that's
which is good. Now, are you as kind to the officials as you are to the players?
I try to be. I try my best. I
never see you raise your voice at them, but you do have some nice conversations with them during some breaks in the action.
I try to stay out of that. I tell our guys that we've got to focus on us. So I try to be, as the person in charge, I've got to set the tone for that. I try to stay out of that as much as possible. Once in a while, as a coach, you have to get involved, but I try to stay away from that.
Now, we're going to let you go because we know you're going to practice.
Yeah.
Are you going to run practice in that suit?
No. I'm going to get right into my sweats.
You're going to change and get out. All right, good. Thanks for joining us. Have a great year. Make sure you check out Coach Gabriel and all his Falcons here at the Student Union all season long. We've got a bunch of games, a bunch of home games too. And catch them on LackawannaFalcons.com/live. We'll be back. Winter Media Day. Take flight.